All right, the president's campaign raising $105 million in the second quarter. Now, to put that in some perspective, Mayor Pete, right, he raised about a quarter of that. And those were powerful figures because that's the highest return we've seen for any of the Democratic candidates so far. I think Bernie Sanders at around $18 million for the same period. Now, we could be surprised by the numbers, but nothing coming close to what the president's raising. So let's get to read from Charlie Gasparino what he makes of some of these early figures.
Well, I mean, I think it's impressive. Remember, last time Donald Trump ran, he did it on a shoestring.
That's right.
Now, from what I understand, they've been preparing for this, you know, with a campaign infrastructure. Remember, it was downstairs in Trump Tower, and he had like 5 people down there, and there was a kiosk full with Trump hats and shirts. That was essentially it. This is a much bigger operation. It's much more coordinated. Brad Parscale is, if you know Brad, he's the campaign manager. He's a really smart guy. He's also a really tall guy. The guy's 6'10". I mean, you know, it's interesting. He's the nicest tall guy I've ever met. So, and really smart.
I'm surprised.
I was just, I thought when I ran into him, I thought this guy was going to be like tough like Donald. He's the nicest guy in the world, but he's smart and he's been planning this for a long time. As a matter of fact, I got my invite. I don't know about you, Cavuto, but I got my invite to Donald Trump's fundraiser on Friday at 5 p.m. at the Bedminster Golf Club.
Wow.
And by the way, for $100,000, you too can be part of a roundtable and take a photo with the president.
I could see you popping up there crashing.
I mean, it's really good. I mean,
do you golf?
No, but I guess this is the only way that those golf courses can make money is by having these events. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, listen to who's like, I guess besides the president, the special guest, they're going to have Tom Ricketts there, Tommy Hicks, you know, the financier, Rona McDaniel obviously is going to be there, and Brad Parscale. Invite you to a VIP event with Donald J. Trump.
And what do you get for the VIP event?
Well, like I said, if you give $1,000, you go to the reception. If you give $5,600, you get a reception VIP, extra rings. $25,000, you get photo and reception VIP. $35,000 photo and reception VIP, and then for $100,000, you get a roundtable photo and reception VIP. And
you know, a lot of time when he visits his club, he pops in on. If there's a couple getting married, he pops in on they get him for free.
Yeah, I know. That's the odd thing about Trump. Like, you know, I remember he got on Bob Woodward's case for not calling him directly, and Woodward said, "Well, I called, you know, Kellyanne, and they didn't give him the message." The odd thing about, not the odd thing, and actually the good thing about him is if you're a reporter and you call him directly, he will call you back a lot of times.
Is that so?
I've seen it happen. I mean, like you call the White House switchboard,
right.
you leave your name. I mean, if he knows you, he will call you back. My guess is Bob Woodward called the White House switchboard, said, "This is Bob Woodward, Washington Post."
I remember the president said something like that. He would only call me, you know.
I've seen it where friends of his would call the White House switchboard and he'd call him back. So he is interpersonal like this.
Could I ask you real quickly on the money raise that the president's got? It was 70-some-odd million in the first quarter, so this is over 100 million. How does that put him? I know each quadrennial election, just passage of time, there's more money than you got the last go-around, but compared to other presidents at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like in line with what Hillary was doing, and we were kind of looking at this yesterday. I mean, it's very good, and what's interesting is, just so you know, he won the last time with nothing, like almost. I mean, that was just amazing. From this standpoint, it was amazing that he didn't raise that much money against someone who raised a lot and still managed to win, even though it was, you know, a very tough win. We should point out that Biden, you know, everybody's asking, like, what's going on with the fundraisers for Joe Biden, given his very bad week. Again, I spoke to some of his guys here in New York. They're very close to him. They're sticking with him. They understand that if he has another 2 bad weeks like this, it could be over, because then it'll be a lack of confidence and the money will flow elsewhere.
So you're a very good reporter in this one. Do you notice a connection between, you know, declining poll numbers and declining donations? What did we see in Jeb Bush's case? Because remember, he was the juggernaut.
Okay, but the difference between Jeb Bush and Biden, and Biden's people make this point to me and to Lydia, Lydia Moynihan, my producer, because we've been speaking with him, is that Biden actually does have support outside the donor class. You know, Jeb really didn't. He had the donors, he had the big money guys in New York. Biden has sport among African Americans across the country, all leaders, and he's going to be very difficult to beat in South Carolina if he can make it that far because of its overwhelmingly African American Democratic
Kamala
electorate.
Harris can take
If she
those
can,
away.
but they're not. His base is not abandoning him just yet. He's down 5 points in the poll. I think the whole thing, Neil, is he competent? I think that is going to be, if he can turn. He didn't sound competent, the last week or so. If he can sound competent and answer questions about busing, which was an insane thing, and I can't believe anybody is in favor of busing, given how crazy the history of busing was. If he can just get a good comeback on that and some of the other issues.
Yeah, ironically, I don't think he was prepared for that. He was prepared for the segregationist question and talking with senators who were not for the busing thing, which
he should be prepared for all of it,
you're
right?
You're right.
Yeah,
That's the nature of the beast.